Hi guys, welcome to this video. This is Prashant. I'm the founder of Wordpandit and I'm bringing this series of videos for you, 60 days to CAT. This is to help you crack the VARC code, and in these final stages of prep there is one crucial mistake that I want all of you to avoid. This is specifically valid for the new pattern for CAT 2020. What is this mistake that you should avoid? Now, what you got to keep in mind is time is the one thing which is in short supply in the new pattern. You've got 40 minutes vis-a-vis the 60 minutes you had earlier. Now, what is it that happens with this reduced time limit? You need to be wiser. The way you manage your time, that has to improve, and hence it becomes vital you don't commit this mistake that I'm going to talk about. Which is this mistake, right? The mistake is very simple: not pushing yourself while solving RCs, right? What do I mean by not pushing yourself while solving RCs? Now, what happens is, or what we tend to do is, we tend to take too much time while solving the first or the second RC in the test. We'll take our time to read. Remember, the first 40 minutes, the first couple of minutes, this is going analyzing what the paper is like. The last couple of minutes are wasted in anxiety and stress about the section. So that leaves you with 35-36 effective minutes in the exam. Now, within these 35-36 minutes, if you spend the first 12 to 14 minutes solving the first RC itself, what happens is you've taken out too much time in the exam, and now you will face one very big issue. You will not be able to attempt enough questions in the test. That becomes an issue. Now, some people, they keep reading and rereading the RCs that they are doing. Do not do this. Do not get stuck in these infinite loops. If you do, your attempt is going to be very low. You're going to struggle in the exam. Break out of this funk, right? You've got to control these habits. You have to make sure, if you don't control this particular habit that you have of getting stuck with single RCs and spending far too much time on them, your attempts will be on the lower side. They will be reduced, and you cannot live with that, right? Now, how do you make this right? Very simply, I want you to do one thing while reading up the passage. One very simple, basic thing. Let's suppose the passage has 4 paragraphs, right? Let's just make this assumption. It has 4 paragraphs. While reading these 4 paragraphs, you're going to do one very simple thing. For every paragraph, you're just going to remember the one key thing the paragraph talks about. Just have a mental outline of what the passage is about para-wise. I'm not asking you to remember the factual details. I'm not asking you to understand every line or sentence, because the moment you start to do this, you start to spend a lot of time on the passage, which kills your time, right? Now, what is going to happen when you do something like this, right? When you just build this specific outline and you don't spend a lot of time reading it or rereading the context and trying to memorize and understand everything. There are only 2 possible situations that you can face. Now, the 2 possible situations are, either you will have a big picture or a big idea question, right? Now, what would this big picture question be like? What is the main idea of the passage, purpose of the author, etc., structure, organization, tone, so on and so forth, which are based on the overall ideas of the passage. Or it will be based on some specific details, inference, fact-based, asking you to check whether something is valid or invalid from the given context of the passage, etc. Now, for type 1 of questions, you actually don't need to go back to the passage and read it anyways. Your outline is more than sufficient to answer this type of question, right? Now, only for questions where you need context, you need to go back to the passage and refer to them. Now, in case you get an inference-based question, fact-based question, etc., you would anyways have to go back to the passage and refer to it, right? Now, since you would anyways have to go back to the passage and refer to it, if you have an outline, you know where do you have to search for the information, and you can answer it that way, right? So the first read is not where you should waste a lot of time. Read efficiently. I'm not asking you to ignore details. I'm not asking you to skip text. I'm not asking you to do any of this. I'm just asking you to make a mental change where you push yourself to read quicker in a more efficient manner, and you push yourself to tell yourself, I will not get stuck That's the big thing. I will not get stuck while reading this. I'll keep reading it. The odd detail you don't understand, you ignore it, you keep moving forward. Now you've got to implement this in practice, and you've got to implement this straight away. Remember, for the CAT exam this year, the likely scenario is you will have 3 to 4 RCs. If you get stuck, you won't be able to complete them. If you take 15 minutes and an RC, there is no possible way you can complete the paper, right? And low attempts are going to become a major hurdle. Very low attempts, you just cannot get the score that you desire, right? And there's no point regretting later that you could have cleared the cutoffs. There were more than enough easy questions. You just did not reach that particular part of the test. You screwed up with wrong question selection, so on and so forth. No point doing that after the test. No point doing that post facto. No point doing that after the event. You have to do it before. So for that, you need to have this exercise. You need to implement this in your practice right now, right away. Start doing this and you will really, really improve, right? So this is something that I want you guys to add to your practice. I hope this helps you improve as a test taker, and hope this video connects with you, resonates with you, and you use this tip effectively, right? Thank you very much for watching this video, and happy learning.